Wow, I'm truly humbled. And I honestly, for all distinguished guests here, I don't have more than about an hour's worth of people that I have to thank for coming here and supporting me. I will be obviously much briefer. The story of my personal and professional life may be summarized by the 1963 song of Dean Kaye and Kelly Gordon, popularized by Frank Sinatra in 1966. The song was called That's Life. And Frank sang the following lyrics, and I can relate to being all of these six people. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn, and a king. I've been up and down, over and out, but I do know one thing. Each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life. I'm so grateful to Dr. Statz and Dr. Levy and the committee for this incredible honor. When Peter notified me a few months back that I was the award recipient one weekday evening, it was about 9 p.m., and he called or texted and said, "Please, I have to talk to you." So I called him. It was late. I was in an elevator. He says, "Why are you in an elevator?" I said, "I'm making acute pain rounds at one of the local Illinois hospitals, seeing post-surgical patients." And he said, Peter said, "That's what I'm talking about." He said, it's 9 o'clock at night, everyone else is at home watching TV, and you're making acute pain rounds. He said, "That's why you deserve this award. Thank you, Peter." The simple message that I have for all of you distinguished guests here is that I can truly say, in the famous words of Lou Gehrig from his own ceremony on July 4th, 1939, when it was apparent that Lou was dying of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and Lou stated, quote, "Today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth," end of quote. And I have been extraordinarily lucky in my career, lucky and blessed. The greatest gratitude I have, of course, is for my dearly departed parents, Rose and Al, two hardworking Italian-American immigrants who placed a premium upon education above all else, and who I wish could be present here tonight to share in this joyous occasion. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. I love you both forever. I want to tell you very briefly about my luck and perhaps about my selective opportunism. I have been, as Dr. Levy pointed out, incredibly privileged to have trained under the tutelage of special people, most notably Alan P. Winnie, my mentor and professional father. Dr. Winnie taught me that perseverance was more important than intellect, and for that I am grateful. A sign on his desk at work at the University of Illinois greeted visitors, and it read, quote, "Genius is perseverance in disguise," end of quote. I'm grateful that I could fulfill 50% of that quote, the perseverance piece. Dr. Winnie introduced me to so many iconic people in the world of pain and regional anesthesia, including Dr. Robert Levy, Dr. Peter Statz. He introduced me to Gabor Rax, Philip Bromwich, Daniel C. Moore, Prithvi Raj, Steve Waldman, Tony Yaks, Mike Ferrante, amongst many, many, many others. I was starstruck being in the presence of these individuals like Robert and Peter, and I was determined to try to be like them, much as a youngster would try to emulate the sports careers of Lou Gehrig or Babe Ruth. Dr. Winnie made me believe that with hard work, dedication, and yes, some real luck, anything was and is possible, that my career could be anything I set my mind to. When I was early on in my career, Dr. John Bonica's wife, Emma, needed anesthesia for eye surgery procedure in New York City at the Lenox Hill Hospital where I was working. And Dr. Winnie told John Bonica, "Candido will give anesthesia to your wife." So after her successful eye procedure, I had the great privilege to dine in a New York City restaurant with the one and only father of modern pain medicine himself, Dr. John Bonica. He told me, "Kenneth, do not worry about what others think of you, and always do the right thing for your patients, regardless of whether there are economics attached to it." That was amongst the most exhilarating experiences of my entire career. It made me further believe that I might somehow strive to be like the great Dr. Bonica. Bob pointed out one of my quirky behaviors, football throws. I've been doing it for a few years now. But in reality, they parallel my professional career, and they have given rise to 7 principles that I adhere to, and I want to share them briefly with you. Principle number 1, there is no challenge too great if one sets their mind to it. One needs to set a goal, prepare, and persevere. Goal 2, or principle 2, every day is a unique experience to be reconciled. Resting upon one's laurels is a recipe for complacency and failure. We are only as good as what we did today. Nothing matters in terms of the past, last week, or last year. Number 3, we must evolve as clinicians as new and superior technology evolves, just as I evolved in my techniques of throwing, moving further back, using better equipment, and so forth. Mentorship, and we've heard that discussed this evening, is critical for teaching strong fundamentals. In fact, without it, there can be no success. And I've studied the techniques of the world's greatest experts in pain, regional anesthesia, and football throws. Principle number 5, evolution can undermine or overcome aging when it comes to staying relevant and at the cutting edge of learning and assimilating knowledge and skills. In point of fact, I'm almost 66 years old, but between the ages of 64 and 65, I made over 300 successful football throws of 45 yards at a time when many are content with basking in the glory of their prior achievements. Principle 7, injury and illness and setbacks are part of life and are hurdles to be embraced as they keep us humble, make us work harder than ever to improve. In 2020, I tore my right biceps tendon on the throwing arm, and the surgeon who repaired me told me I would never throw a football again. Well, from that time of recovery until now, I've made over 400 throws. So in the words of the iconic Sir Winston Churchill, never surrender. And finally, willingness to try and listen to sage advice are the keys to progressing. I leave you now with this thought. Tonight, I wish to extend my most sincere gratitude to all of those of you who have contributed to my successes, who have helped me persevere and never surrender, who have mentored me and who have served as my colleagues in our unique fellowship of pain medicine and pain management. Nothing happens in a vacuum. I'm a product of your love, your kindness, your unselfishness. May I return your kindness and favors to younger generations of eager and willing pain doctors. The greatest joy is in giving and sharing. This award means so much to me in light of the many deserving, outstanding clinicians and academicians assembled herein, all worthy of Lifetime Achievement Awards. I hope to be a part of each of your respective award ceremonies in years to come. Thank you, and may God bless all of you. Have a wonderful evening.